Good morning. My name is Lorena Tanori, and this is
Valeria Arballo.
We are here from the office of Alfredo Velasquez, our county school superintendent. And today we're going to talk to you about stress management. Our students throughout the county have been testing for the past couple of weeks and continue to do so through the month of April. And so the stress that is created during testing can be very difficult for students, and not only for students but also for teachers, for the staff, and for you as parents, right, that have to deal with attendance and the routines at home and everything that surrounds the testing, right? Also, the end of the school year is nearing, which means that, for those high school students and parents that are getting ready for graduation, or for the students that are making sure that they have the credits that they require to graduate, this time of the year is stressful for all of us in general. So it just adds to what we already are carrying, right? So what is stress? So when we think about stress, is more of a mental tension, right? Or a state of worry that we go through. We all go through different stages or levels of stress. We all experience it in different areas of our life, and it's something that we also require. So when part of us human require us to be stressed a little, because that pushes us to inaction, right? To even create, to resolve. And so we all need stress at a certain level. But what happens when stress becomes acute or is overwhelming? That can create the problem, right? Or the excess of the stress. So when stress is too much, it can lead to different things, different changes in behavior, different challenges, right? Or even a disconnect from people, right? So when we are overwhelmed with stress, it actually activates our fight or flight. And so before, when stress was good to push us to do things, when we are in an acute level of stress, it activates our fight or flight response, which then is also a survival, right? Yes. We're in survival. We're not just living, but we go into a survival mode. So we start seeing stress in our muscle tension, changes in behavior. And so what can we do to help students during this time of year? And not just this time of year, but we think with anything.
That's making you become stressful.
Right. So Valeria will provide us with some tips and guidance as to what we can do to help the students and even ourselves to deal with the stress levels that we are currently dealing with.
So stress, Lorena mentioned, all the basic stuff of what stress is, but it doesn't just affect us mentally, it affects us physically. By physically, just think about it, your heart rate starts going up. So that affects us physically by causing our blood pressure to go up a little bit higher than normal. It makes our stomach become very uneasy, and that's where the stomach problems start coming. Maybe you hear your kids during this time complain about stomach aches, and it's not usually because there's a bug going around or the stomach flu. It primarily can be the stress. So that's another thing to think about during this time when your kids are becoming sick, is to ask those questions. Testing is around the corner. Can it be that? It can also make our immune system become weakened and just cause, more issues. We as adults might have trouble sleeping, and it can also happen to our children. So that's just some ways to also see, okay, they sleep. I slept before, now I'm not sleeping. Oh, you know what? Maybe I am becoming stressed. What causes the stress is not just the testing. It can be big events happening around at home. It can be, you're moving, your senior student is getting ready to go out to the university, moving out of state. All these new things can cause us stress too. Another one is, maybe finding a new job. Right. That can cause a lot of stress because we're so used to the comfort of like an old job. So having to switch to a new job can also cause stress. Also, financial worries. For students, it can be the homework, the deadlines of having to make sure to meet, their test requirements, their credits, as well as poor time management. Maybe on the next segment, we'll talk about time management because usually, I'm not a procrastinator, but I used to be, trust me, and I was stressed like you guys have no idea. But anyways, also thinking negative all the time. We have to think of positive. If we don't talk positive, it's just going to cause more stress because we're always thinking, oh, things are going to go bad instead of switching that mentality. Right. So how do we cope with that stress? Do activities that we enjoy, such as hobbies, like puzzles. I know some people are like, puzzles stresses me out more than ever. So if puzzles is not for you, don't do puzzles. But puzzles, reading, listening to poetry, writing, anything that you feel helps you out. And another one that I like to recommend as well is setting boundaries. We forget that it's okay to say no, especially if we have so many things in our plates. If we just have so many, it's okay to say, you know what, not at the moment. I have so many stuff, maybe next time. Especially as we mentioned, graduation is coming now. There's probably more than one family member graduating and you're just like, okay, who do I go? Graduation is this day. Have another family members whose graduation is up out of town. What do I do? If you feel the stressor financially, just say, I can't make it to that one. As well as exercising, running. Again, I don't like running. So you won't see me running, but you will see me walking. Take those 15 minutes to walk 30 minutes. You are going to see that it's kind of helping you out, getting that fresh air. Doing yoga, doing the breathing techniques, meditation. Very helpful. Yes. Or even taking a mini vacation, like a staycation, That way if you feel like cooking, thinking about what you're going to cook is just making you stress more, just say, you know what, let's go up out of town, stay in a hotel, order food, and just eat. You can do that as well. Trying to eat healthy. I might sound like I'm contradicting myself with that, but no, you can, trying to eat healthy, changing your diet a little bit. You're going to see it's going to help a little bit because you're not going to feel so yucky afterwards, of just eating fast food Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday. And also trying to get enough sleep. I remember talking to somebody and I'm like, do you take naps? And they're like, no. I'm like, take naps. It's going to be the best thing ever. If you have the time, do it. Take your nap. Trust me, I'm a nap taker and it's wonderful. I don't know if Lorena or anybody out there has taken naps, but if you can, do it. Another thing that I like to put out there is also remember to get professional help. Right, very important. If you feel that, all these things are not working for you, ask for that help. Talk to somebody. Talk to your primary care provider. We have great resources in our town that can provide support in that area. 1-800 numbers that you can call or even text if you feel like you need to talk to someone. Yes, don't ever feel that just because you're talking to somebody, you're just, you're hit rock bottom. It's okay to ask for that help. So don't ever hesitate. Ask for it. Right. Yeah. So stress is, it can be difficult and sometimes to recognize it also, right? For us to recognize that we are overwhelmed or that we're just pushing too much or it's too much on our plate. So when we think about even the students of our kiddos too, how do we help them communicate that? Even if it's hard for us, right? To say, hey, or to identify, but when we see some changes in them, whether it's their attitude, their appetite, their sleep habits, we understand or we can
try to understand that there might be something happening, and it can be a tribute to that added stress, right? Or those expectations that they have. And so what can we help with, right? So having that open communication and putting into practice all these activities that Valeria has mentioned for us can be very helpful too.
Yes.
Okay, so we do have a parent workshop coming up on Wednesday for parents or anybody out in the community that would like to attend. It is the Who Am I parent workshop, and we will be having it at the 1904 courthouse.
So hopefully you can come and join us. It's going to be at
10
o'clock. So hopefully you can make it. And the topic is going to talk about who am I? So it's going to discuss a little bit about who we are based off of, our past and our generation of how we were brought up and other more information. So hopefully you guys can make it out there.
Also, stay tuned for our summer camps that we are already in the works and planning on. So we'll have summer camps available for the youth in our county as well. So thank you for your time, and we will see you soon.